everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. I am the Marketing Nomad. Alrighty, so yesterday before we get into that, so usually I put things that I want to be intentional about, things that I'm manifesting, I put it on my wall, I write it on a sticky note, and then I just put it on my wall. My wall is filled with Post-its. Alright, so yesterday, just as a normal thing that I do, there's something that I want to do every single day. And I put it on my Post-it as I usually do, and I put it in the wall right in front of me because it's something that deals with my work and I want to be able to see it every day. It's in my line of vision as I'm working, so every time I look up, it's right there for me. All right, so I thought that was brilliant, that was perfect, I was so happy about it, and then I wrote it down, and this is the exact Post-it. All right, so hold on, I'm gonna read it out to you. E100, T15, R12, every day, don't skip. All right, this was the exact Post-it that I put up on my wall opposite of me. This was 24 hours ago, all right? I walked by it, I looked at it from over here as I was working. Something felt off. I don't know what it was, or at least at that point in time, I didn't know what it was, but something was just very, very off to me. Every time I'd look at it, I wouldn't feel good. I think that there was just something off, okay? I wasn't able to pinpoint it, and 2 hours ago, it hit me. I used the word don't. All right, hold on, I'm gonna show you the Post-it again. I used the word don't. And let me get into why that is so crucial in what we are going to be talking about today. So today we are talking a little bit about manifestation. A couple of years ago, I dug very, very deep into manifestation. I still am very deep into it as well. You know, the subconscious mind, manifestation, how both of them are interlinked. How do you manifest, you know, the life that you truly want for yourself, so on and so forth. And one of the things that I understood at that point in time is that the word don't actually works against you in whatever it is that you're manifesting. And at that point in time, when I look back, I realized that there was a lot in my life that I kept saying, I don't want that, or I don't want this, I don't want this. And the way that I perceived why I was doing that was, okay, if I know what I don't want, then everything else will just magically appear. But the more I dug into this word don't and the power of this word don't, I realized that it was actually working against me. And let's talk a little bit about, you know, the subconscious mind as well as from the perception of manifestation. So there is science to back this up. Our mind doesn't perceive the negation, all right? Especially when you're looking at it constantly. When you hear the word don't skip, what's the imagery that comes to your mind? You imagine yourself skipping, and then you imagine yourself like maybe reprimanding yourself, telling yourself, no, you shouldn't skip. And then there's a whole different thought process that kind of gets into your mind. So what your mind is actually focusing on is the skip part of it. The don't kind of goes way back in the background, and there's science to back this as well. You can definitely check this out. And so, and especially when you are in the energy of trying to manifest something for yourself, when you use the word don't, it works against you because now you're focusing on what you don't want. You're focusing on what you should not be doing rather than what should be, you know, happening in your life, or what do you want to do. Right? And so every time I was looking at this Post-it, something felt off because it was a whole different thought process that my mind was going through. Like, don't skip. Then I would read it, and then I would imagine myself skipping, and then I would imagine myself telling myself, no, you should not skip. And then I would imagine myself doing it. And I'm like, why am I making this process so complicated for myself? Why am I going through all the hoops? Why can't I just write to show up? All right, and this is something that it just eased so much. I changed it and it has absolutely eased my mind. And one of the things that I have been very, very conscious about is using the word don't. I am trying. This is, like I said, it's still an ongoing process as I'm sharing it with you right now. But one of the things that I am trying to remove from my vocabulary is the word don't. And this has been something that I have done for a very, very big chunk of my life, like using the word don't. I would say I don't want drama in my life, and then my life would be filled with so much of drama. I would say I don't want to maybe skip meals, and then I would eventually at some point end up skipping that meal or skipping multiple meals. I would say I don't want that for my life, and then it would just appear into my life, and I'd be like, what is going on? I thought I was being very, very specific, and for a while, of this happening, I didn't believe in manifestation because I thought, well, I am being so clear. I am telling the universe or higher power, whichever it is that you resonate with, I am being very clear. I'm telling them that I don't want that. So why is it coming into my life? And it took me a lot of study into this concept, into the subconscious mind as well, to understand that, hey, when you're using the word don't, you're actually bringing it into your life because you're constantly thinking about it. You're creating that resistance as well within you. If you want to talk about it from a manifestation point of view, you're building that resistance within you. The more you use the word don't, I don't want this, I don't want that, or don't do this, don't do that, the more you're in that energy, you're building that resistance towards it. Instead, the way to flow, the way to be in the energy of manifestation is to remove the word don't and put the ideal step that you want to take or whatever it is that you are wishing to manifest. So in the past, I would say, for example, I was manifesting a healthy relationship, all right? In the past, I would be like, I don't want someone like that. I don't want someone like that. And what do you know? Exactly what I didn't want. The kind of person, they would magically appear into my life right in front of me. And so I started reframing. I was like, okay, I'm no longer going to think about what I don't want, but I will start being very, very specific, very, very careful about what I do want. I'm going to start pointing out and saying, I want that, I want that, I want that. All right. And so that by itself has created a lot of ease in whatever it is that I have manifested already for myself, as well as what I am manifesting as well. So I really wanted to share this with you because this was a very live example. I'm looking at it, something feels off. And because, I know this, like on a very subconscious level, I know that I'm not supposed to use the word don't. It was kind of nagging at me. It was kind of like something was like poking at me, like something's off over here, something's off over here. And the more I think about it, the more I was watching that post-it, even if I have to analyze my own thought process, I would read don't skip, and then I'd imagine myself skipping, and then I'd be like, oh no, I have to tell myself not to. And that was a whole different loop that I was. However, now with this new post-it that I have written over here, it says show up. That's it. It's so easy. All I have to do is look at it. I don't have to go through the entire process of the imagery of me skipping and then not skipping, telling myself not to skip, and then going, no, I just have to show up. That's it. It's just one straightforward line there from me. And that is also on a subconscious level, it just eases what you need to do. So focus on what you want, focus on what you need to do, rather than what you don't want, what you don't need to do. That is one thing that has absolutely changed the way that I show up in my life. In fact, it has changed my perception of manifestation as well. And it has worked so many times for me in the past, which is why the moment I wrote don't skip over there, and that's a reflex for me, right? It's something that I've been doing for a very, very long time in my life. Like this is like 20 years of conditioning that I am trying to remove, I am trying to unwire within me. So that was a very reflex. I just wrote it, I put it up, and then it was nagging at me. So that by itself, the fact that it was nagging at me, the fact that it was something felt off to me, it's huge progress for me because I was able to understand, I was able to pick it out within 24 hours. That also, like, I'm just like, wow, that is how how much it has worked for me in the past, so much so that today my mind's like, no, something's off, you gotta change that, you gotta fix that. That's not the way that we're working through at this point in time. So I wanted to share this with you because it's very natural to think of what you don't want to do or what you don't want in your life. Very, very natural. And in fact, maybe sometimes, and I've done this in the past too, I did it for 20 years, you feel like you're being very specific. So if I tell what I don't want, then everything else is fine or everything else is okay. I can handle it. I'll attract that. But when you use the word don't, right, first off, you're creating a lot of resistance within you, or don't do something. that there's that immediate tension, that anxiety, that worry that immediately stiffens your body. And I was feeling this every time I'd look at that post-it note. I would feel that resistance, that tension in my body. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna skip, I'm gonna skip, I'm gonna skip. Or that worry within me that, okay, I should not do it, I should not do it. Why am I stressing myself out unnecessarily? All right, that was the thought process. So every time you're in the don't energy, technically you're stressing yourself out, okay? Whether you recognize it or not, you are, because it's something that you should not do. And just think about it, even as a kid, stop sign, caution, your parents or your caregivers telling you don't do something. There is that panic that sets within you. It's very, very natural. It comes on a very subconscious level as well. It's how we've been groomed. So that's something that you can't get out of as well. Maybe you can try. I don't know. I'm not tried. I don't want to as well. But I feel like there is that natural caution that comes with the word don't. I mean, it's very natural. It is supposed to be there. It's there to protect us as well. Maybe that's why, I feel like it's meant to be there. You're meant to have that caution within you, because there are certain very real life situations where you need that caution within you, but you don't really necessarily need it when you are trying to create a routine for yourself, when you're trying to do something for yourself that's manifesting. You don't need that tension. You don't need that stress. You don't need that caution for yourself, especially when you're in the energy of manifestation. And being in the energy of manifestation by itself is being in the flow, being calm, smooth, being in the frequency, the energy of your manifestation. And when you receive your manifestation, or when it has occurred, you're not going to be stressed. You're not going to be panicking. You're going to be calm, right? So that's also the energy that you're supposed to be in when you are manifesting for yourself. And so that's why I was like, every time I look at it, I'll just panic. My body would freeze up, and I was feeling something off about it. And the moment I wrote show up, this new post-it that I have, the moment I wrote this, I just calmed down. Now I just have to focus on one thing. I just have to show up. There's not this entire thought process. So I wanted to share this with you because it's a very, very real life example that's going on. I am unwiring years and years and years of constantly saying, I don't want that. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm unwiring that as I'm going, and I'm also learning. This is a learning curve for me as well. And for the most part, I do align with it. I have completely, or I guess I would say 90% have removed the word don't from my dictionary when I'm manifesting something, or when I am kind of letting myself know how I wish to show up. Yes, for the most part. But there are these moments where I slip. There are these tiny, tiny moments where I slip, and it was so subconscious. I just wrote it, I put it, and then it was just nagging at me. Every time I look at it, I just wouldn't feel right, and that's not the energy that I want to be in, because and I probably have about 50 over 50 post-its on my wall, and every time I see any one of those post-its, they fill me with so much of positive energy, and I feel good looking at it. However, this one particular post-it, every time I looked at it, I was just not feeling good, and that by itself I think was an indication for me that something was off. So in a way, I wanted to share this with you because it's very natural to say, I don't want that, or I don't want this, or I don't want someone who's like that. I don't want a business like this. I don't want my business to go the way that business did for that person, or I don't want that to happen to me, whatever is happening to someone else. But I feel like the more we are in that energy, we're creating that resistance within us. And even if you want to think of it from a subconscious point of view, mind can't perceive negation. So you're constantly going through the imagery of that happening to you. And it's more difficult to imagine that not happening to you than, redirecting your mind to something that you want to happen. All right, so if you want to think of it from a subconscious point of view as well, the way your mind works, you can absolutely do so. If you want to think of it from a manifestation point of view, from an energy point of view, building that resistance within you, you are. Because when you use the word don't, when you use the word can't, that it builds that resistance within you. And, interesting. All right, my phone. Anyway, yeah, where was I? So it kind of builds that resistance within you, and it becomes harder. It becomes harder for you to imagine the life that you want actually to happen, because now you're focused on what you don't want. But the ease of flow happens when you can imagine what you do want. So I'm doing it. I really hope you can join me along with this as well. So I am removing don't from my dictionary. I am in the process of wiping it out completely. I do not want to, I don't want to, be so harsh on myself as I am going through this, yes. So I want to say, the way that I want to reframe that is I want to be able to flow with what I'm manifesting. I want to create a vocabulary that allows me to align with my manifestation. Yes, that is how I would change the wording even in this video. Like I said, it is a learning process for me. It is something that I am actively trying to unwire. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. But I feel like I've come to 90% of it, but there's that 10%, that final lap that's often the toughest. Unwiring the immediate reflexes or unwiring the ones that come up, just pop up. That's a little bit, that's what I want to smoothen out. So even in the way that I'm speaking, in the way that I think, I want to go in the path of ease when it comes to my manifestation. And I want to work with my mind. I don't want to work against it. I want to work with my body and not against it. That's also one more thing. So working with my body, working with my mind, working with manifestation, flowing with the ease of it would be to start thinking about the outcomes or what it is that you desire. Focus on that, not on what you don't want or what you feel should not happen. So ease is always I always feel like alignment is ease. That's something that it's kind of my motto at this point. I believe it in so strongly. So yeah, that's something that I am rewiring. It's difficult. It is difficult to kind of remove that, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, and hopefully someday I'll be able to come here and tell you that it's completely out. We're good. I hope I can get to that point at some day. But this just happened, and I wanted to share with you because it's a very, very real struggle that I'm going through at this point in time. It's something that I want to improve on. It's something that I want to be very intentional about the way that I'm speaking, because words are spells. Everything that you say, everything that you're thinking in some shape or form, it is manifesting. Whether you know it or not, you are manifesting. All right. That is something that I have also understood about manifestation as well. So even in the littlest moments, I feel it's important to be aware of how we're speaking, how we're saying certain things, how we're thinking about certain things as well. So yes, it's an intentional effort, but I feel like the more we continue down that path, at some point it will become a reflex. The fact that this came nagging at me itself was like, wow. For me, it was like a success milestone, I guess I would say, that I was able to catch it before it went on for too long. So I wanted to share that with you. So I'm removing don't from my dictionary. It's a process by itself, but I want that for myself. And that's the energy that I want to step into. That's the version of myself that I am working towards. All right? Alrighty, so if this changed your mind about something with respect to manifestation, something about your subconscious mind, definitely let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that tells you every single time I do upload a YouTube video. And take care, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.